Hello, 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 and welcome. I am here with Salomie, and we are talking all about how to not discount our gut feelings. Girl, we all need a little lecture on this. For sure. I'm super excited about this. This is going to be so much fun. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sabrina Victoria. I am the host here at Her Talk Show. Listen, these podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about life and business. Let's jump right in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
All right. If you are listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you are at so we can send you some love in the comments. We have had over 600 women on this stage. We are adding another one to the list today. We have Salomie. She is an entrepreneur, an inventor, a writer. She holds 2 U.S. patents. Girl, we need to talk about this. What is this? She has written a book, Push Starts. It is a guide to the business startup process for those who have unique ideas and interests that can be profitable businesses, but you don't know where to start. Oh, we all need this too. And then she also has a small business consulting service where she will use her years of experience to deliver big results for small businesses. She is a mother. She attended college in Miami, Florida. Are you still in Florida?
I am. Yes.
Did I know that?
I don't think you knew that.
Girl, I'm in Florida. I'm in Boca Raton.
Wow. We're in sister cities.
We'll have to get some coffee, girl. I don't drink coffee. We'll have to get some tea.
Amazing.
Listen, I'm so excited to have you on. You have done all the things. I'm so excited. Do you have one book or 2 books? One book?
I have one book. I'm working on a second about mindset.
I thought so.
I'm excited about that.
I thought so. How's that first book?
Really, really, really good. The reviews were great. And everyone that read the book said, I wish I had this book before I started my business. I wish I had this book before becoming an entrepreneur. So the book really served its purpose. Its purpose was to not make the mistakes I made when I was starting out. So if you're starting a business, this is the place to start. So get the book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So today you're bringing the topic to us, stop discounting your gut feelings. I have a feeling that this is so near and dear to your heart because there was a point in your life where you did not listen to your gut feelings.
Mhm.
Tell us all the things.
Okay, well, let me first say, Sabrina, in keeping with the mantra of your show is, what do I know that no one else knows? What do I know that I don't think everyone else knows? And this is in keeping with the topic. What I know for sure is that each one of us has within ourselves the ability to find the answers to all our questions and solutions to all our problems. And people listening might think, oh, that's simple. If I have a issue, I can come up with a solution. What I'm talking about is deeper solutions and answers, finding answers to those things that really plague you, stump you, that you have no idea how to do. And I learned, Sabrina, that we have this power if we're able to tap into it and stay in tune to it. And how do you do that? Well, in today's world, whether it's business, personal, well, speaking for myself, I feel like we live in a vortex where things are always moving at warp speed. So much happening all the time, 24/7. And this is the reason why we don't tap into our intuition and our gut feeling the way we need to. because we haven't learned how to quiet our mind.
Ooh.
You find your solutions, and you always will, because I have borne this out numerous times every day in my life. If you can quiet your mind, ask yourself the question, you will get your answer.
Mm.
So it is not rocket science, and you know when I introduce this concept to people, especially in business, I get the, oh, this is kind of airy fairy. But tapping into your gut feeling is rooted in science, and there are numerous research. Harvard did one that says the business owners who are able to do this and create a business culture around this concept are always the most successful. And if you go see what Tony Robbins, Oprah, the Amazon guy says about how they make their decisions, it's always, I follow my gut. I will look at your analytics, I will look at the data, but in the long run, I always depend on my gut.
Wow. So is this I know you talk about an intuitive business model. Is
Mhm.
that what this is?
Well, what the intuitive business model is, my proprietary system where I guide someone, such as yourselves or other people or business owners, how to tap into it. Because the response, and I always get is, well, I get what you're saying, and I know it has merit, but how do I do it? Because with intuition, sometimes it's innate. There are just people who are naturally intuitive, but
Mm.
there are people who are not, and they have to learn how to do it. It's not that they don't have it in them, it's that they don't know how to tap into it. People who are naturally intuitive are people who don't resist the idea that what their sixth sense is telling them is has merit. When you keep ignoring that sixth sense, it has always been to my detriment. I know that for sure. It's kind of like walking down the street. Let me give you a couple um, examples. Say I'm driving down the street, and this has happened to me. And the voice in my head says, "Don't take a right turn, take a left turn." Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Or it says, go straight, don't turn, or something to that effect. And whenever I've ignored that voice, I've always lived to regret it. Something else happened to me the other day. I had to get something done. I had to meet someone and present something. And the minute the this started the minute I woke up. Everything started going wrong. First, I couldn't find my car keys. I spent 15 minutes looking for it. Then I couldn't find my debit card. So I spent another 15 minutes looking for that. And when I got to where I was supposed to get, I couldn't get access. And the voice in my head immediately said, "The person you're supposed to meet today will not be there." I got there, and the person I was supposed to meet did not show up that day.
No way.
Listen, it blew my mind. And
Wow.
if I ever have any doubt about my ability to really tap into intuition and follow my gut, that day proved it. And what I know for sure is that when something is not going well, don't fight it. It's because that's just how it's supposed to be. I could not believe it. I walked into the office, and the receptionist said she didn't show up for work today. She called in today, and I was like, "Well, it just was not meant to happen that
Wow.
day.
Yeah.
And this is how your gut and your sixth sense works. You've got to, if you tap into that, you have all your answers.
Mm,
This create less stress. Um, you're able to think more clearly, more creatively,
yeah.
and this really frees you up to know that you're on the right path in what you're doing. So if you're ever feeling you're not on the right path, you've got to quiet your mind, ask the question, and you will get your answer.
Absolutely. Now, what about to all those, which you kind of touched on this, but what about just it's so busy? Like
It's so
business, it's so busy. We got 1,000 things to be doing if we had, and especially for those of us that have like people that we manage or emails back and forth and blah, blah, blah. It could be hard to like take a moment to check in. So what's some advice for the busy ones?
I would say you have to create you have to change the dynamics of your business if you're one of those busy people who are you're constantly busy, you're just busy all the time. Change what you change is switch the culture, change the culture of the business so that everyone in the business knows that having the ability to be quiet and to seek answers, to tap in and to follow um, what your intuition is telling you is a skill. It's not a, it's not a, you know, it's not a plaything. This has value, and it's amazing how many businesses as use this paradigm as a foundation for their business. If you institute that as part of the culture of your business, and everyone in your business that you manage is aware that the business is not necessary. We all know what needs to be done, but we what we do is we load our minds with everything that needs to be done. And so what our reality becomes, oh my god, I'm so busy and everything is so overwhelming. But if you put yourself in the mindset that whatever happens and whatever needs to be done, I have a solution for it, I will have a solution for it, so it doesn't become as overwhelming. So if you're that busy person, set aside some time in your day. I heard someone the other day say, do the 21 rule, where you take 21 minutes to quiet your mind and do it 21 days in a row. And what that accomplishes is that it starts to create new neural pathways in your brain. And so you start to get more creative and you start to see things in a different light. So it's really about the mindset, the busyness. Change your mindset because what we're really doing is overloading our brains and overloading our psyche by saying, oh my gosh, look at this to-do list. Well, the to-do list is going to be there tomorrow, but how do you deal with it today? Today, you have to switch your mindset to I can do whatever it is that needs to be done, but I don't have to load it up in my brain. Put it whether you're delegating it or the trick I use is I write it down on a piece of paper. And when you write it down, it takes it from your brain to the paper. And so it's a simple thing, but it is so powerful. I find that when I've crammed so much in my head that needs to get done, if I do a simple, and I know we do this, um, where we have our date book and we write everything down and we know it's there. But why then are we still in a constant state of busyness? Because even though Even though we've written it down, we haven't mastered the skill of how to let it go. And how do you let it go? Quiet your mind, focus on the problem of the day, and get your solutions and move to the next thing. The day-to-day minutia that we're doing, um, and I know you probably have someone that takes care of all of that for you, but the day-to-day minutia is not that crucial in the bigger scheme of things. And if you master the big, all the small will begin to fall into place.
Absolutely. I love this. So 21 days in a row,
21
sitting
minutes for
quiet for
21 days.
21 minutes.
Yeah. Quiet your mind for 21 minutes, 21 days in a row, and it will start to reprogram your brain, and you will start to see a big difference in your creativity, in how you can intuitively know something. You can make better decisions. It's a powerful tool. And
Yeah.
once you do this, it will kind of become par for the course. It will just become a part of your being that, if my inner voice says something to me, I'm better able to trust it rather than thinking, oh, it, that doesn't mean anything. And you let it go. It's kind of like as an inventor.
Yeah.
Whenever something comes in my brain, immediately I write it down. Because when you don't do that, what happens is we get ourselves back into this busy spectrum, and that amazing idea that you had is lost because you
Yeah.
can't remember it. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. I love that. And I'm trying to think, just in general, having a leader, a manager, a you know, owner of a company who thinks like this, the vast difference between that company and
and
another
the
company
one that
has to be,
doesn't, yeah, that's an amazing question. And I, before I when I really started to delve into this idea of intuitive thinking in business, the intuitive business model, that path that I recommend a business take, I did the research on a few businesses. And these are the businesses I said, what if? And I took a couple. I'll use Blockbuster as an example, just to get practical. And that's a great question, Sabrina. The difference between those that do and those that don't. Um, Blockbuster was flying high, and I'm sure you know who the company Blockbuster. um I'm one of those people who, can go to Blockbuster, the drill, check out the video, blah blah blah. You got to rewind it, you got to bring it back, you pay the fee, etc. But Blockbuster really dropped the ball. And why did they drop the ball? They weren't thinking. They didn't think, what next is the customer want from me? What does the customer want from me next? What are they seeking? They were so caught up in the success of what they were doing, they weren't thinking ahead. If I was on board as their business strategist, I would have said, "You're here now. Now, where are you going to be? What is the next step?" They didn't see the vision. They didn't say, okay, I see this. What can we do to take our business to the next level? So here comes Netflix streaming that answered, that took care of all of my pain points. I didn't have to leave my home. I didn't have to go search a zillion um,
or in the
videos.
or in the bad weather.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
didn't have to. Granted, I'm paying a fee, but for me, the return on investment is so much greater that I didn't have to worry about the money I'm paying because I don't have to leave my home. I have more options. I don't have to rewind anything. I don't have to stand in line to pay. So, had they done that, and the same thing with Toys R Us. Toys R Us went bust because they weren't in the mode of forward thinking. What can we do? I remember when my kids were little, I would be in Toys R Us all the time. Um, but what what was the customer going to look for next? They weren't seeing what was possible for them as a toy company that would take their business to the next level. So they went bust. But guess what? They learned because Toys R Us has now reimagined themselves. They're coming back, and they're coming back as a new with a new strategy. Now they're offering, kind of like what Costco does, where you can go in and get food. Your kids can sit over here and read a book, or um, there's a play area. So now they're coming back with that concept. Well, the question is, why didn't they think of this before? Because they were stuck in a mode. They weren't using their intuition. They weren't thinking ahead, and so that contributed to their demise. So the companies that look ahead are always going to be the one that are the industry leaders. Think of Amazon. I saw an ad the other day where they're moving into the realm of telehealth. I'm like, Amazon and telehealth? This is a company that really looks ahead. They have and granted, it's a lot more challenging for a small business to hire someone like me. Say Amazon has a team of people probably that sit around all day that has my skills that say, I think this is the direction you need to go, or I
Totally.
think you need to pull back from that, or I think you need to pivot over here. But imagine all of a sudden they got from books to delivery to now that, you know, telehealth and Amazon, amazing. The sky is the limit. If only business owners can accept that intuition is essential, the ability to harness this power. If you can harness this power and then contribute it, and then add it to the data and analytical realm of what exists, can you imagine how much, um, what power, and what the sky would be the limit for such a business if you can successfully do this. And
Yeah.
it is not something that's difficult or far-fetched. Just imagine if you as a company using the data and the analytics, which are always flawed, because data and analytics is based in a set of rules um, and parameters.
Yeah.
If you can use that and then combine it with the idea that intuition is a powerful part of how you should operate your business, if you combine those two, there is no limit to what your company can achieve.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. And I'm really seeing a parallel between this 21-day exercise and then longevity, because when you're
Yeah.
sitting and you're thinking and you're being creative, you could have that in mind. You could be more intentional about it.
Mhm, mhm. And longevity, which is my mantra. I preach it, I live it, and the path to longevity is, don't ignore your gut feeling. Don't
Mm,
ignore that sixth sense. Don't ignore that gut feeling, and that's what your intuition is. I'm talking about intuition today, but it's akin to your gut feeling and your sixth sense.
Yeah.
Um, some people have it stronger than others, but it can always be elevated if you learn the tools, and if you follow, for example, my guidance. And I would encourage people to try it. If you can't do it for 21 days, then do it a day at a time. Take 10 minutes out of your day, quiet your mind, pick
Yeah.
one thing that you're concerned about, quiet your mind, and say, how can I resolve this issue?
Mm.
What is the solution to this problem? And if
That
you're
kind of goes back to what you said in the beginning, where you said everyone knows the answer to their own problems.
exactly, it's within us. That's what I know for sure. Everyone has the answers to their questions and the solutions to their problems. And
Yeah.
you just have to be able to get in tune with your mindset and tap into your intuition, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk, I think now more than ever, on legacy, our
Mhm.
personal legacy, our business's legacy. In your your opinion, what is the difference between a profitable company that's like doing well and then a company that is aimed towards legacy?
Well, uh, it's so interesting, and that's a really great question. And legacy comes from longevity, and it's
Mhm.
interesting we're talking about longevity. A legacy company has certain characteristics. They've been in business a long time. That's kind of like what people think. But a legacy business has that one thing, um, and I call that their purpose. They have that purpose that the business is rooted in, and they have already made a connection to the community, whether it's national or global. So they've become part of the psyche of the business community. They're known for whether they're into community engagement, um, whether they're into the environment, but they have that, in addition to being a successful company, they've figured out a way to maintain that connection to the community such that um, people remain loyal to them because of that thing that they do. So they command loyalty. They have a connection to the community. They're profitable, and they have that team, whether it's a family or they've built that team, that their core values never change, and whatever they do is built around that core value. Uh,
Mm.
so if that core value, like for Amazon, for Bezos, it's the customer, and whatever he does, he's not concerned. He doesn't concern himself with competition. His mantra is, if I make my customer happy, I don't have to worry about anything else.
Mm.
That's the legacy. So he builds his company around customer satisfaction. That is his core value, and that is what makes Amazon legacy. Because even if he sells the company or it becomes something else, it's going to endure. So, how can you build a company that's enduring? These are some of the things that you really have to master. You have to master the idea that you have to give back. You have to be connected to your community in some way. You have to have that one thing that you deliver, so that you create customer loyalty by doing all of these things. So people, it doesn't matter what you put out. When people hear Amazon now, okay, what are they offering next? I'm going to go get that. So that's a legacy company. And if you start out by being um, being a company that has longevity, because there's no legacy if you're not existing. So, and you, Sabrina, are doing some of those things. You're connecting to a community, so that when people hear the name Sabrina Victoria, they're like, oh, I want to be in her network. I want to learn what she has to say. I want to learn what she has to offer. And you're about elevating women. So that's a part of your legacy. So, yes, there are certain characteristics that you do need, and you need to stick with them. You can't just, you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You can't just say you're going to do this, and then one day you're having a big sale, but you do nothing for your community for the next year, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Definitely. And speaking of, Amazon, what really comes to mind is the building the like, know, and trust factor, which is kind of what you're talking about. It's like people have to trust that you're going to be there, that you're going to show up, that you're going to be consistent.
mhm, mhm. I remember teaching, I was teaching a marketing class, and I showed a video of Jeff Bezos because I wanted, the goal of showing the video was to capture the attention of the students. So I'm trying to meet them on their playing ground, rather than talking to them, show them a video, let them watch something. And for the entire 20 minutes of the video, and this is what struck me, because I find most businesses nowadays focus on their competition, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you want to, in business, you have to stay educated, you have to keep up, you have to know what's happening in your industry, you have to know what's happening in complementary industries to your industry, because that affects your business. But he says, for him, if he knows what his customer wants, and we circle back to my example of Blockbuster, if he knows what his customer wants, not just in the present, but he goes back to what they wanted in the past,
Hmm.
and also what they want in the future,
Wow.
because what they wanted in the past has certainly changed, but it gives him a guide as to the type of as to how he needs to satisfy his customers. So he's in the present now, and his mantra is, I'm always going to be looking to do the next thing for my customer. What are they looking for me to do for them in the future? And if you can get to that place as a business owner, make that be the thing that you're thinking about every day. It doesn't matter what your competition is doing. In the long run, it's about capturing customers,
Yeah.
have them remain loyal to you, and constantly be thinking that, if I want whatever it is that I'm offering, that's what they want. If you can get to that point, there's no way you will not become a legacy company. And
Yeah.
that's what Amazon does so well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful examples, value, inspiration. I so appreciate you being here. We have a ton of people watching live. We're obviously getting a really good idea of what you do, but if you could do me a favor, maybe for those that didn't jump on in the very beginning, let us know exactly what you do and who should be reaching out to you.
Okay, great. I've been seeing some of the comments flash across the screen. So thank you guys for the comments. What I do is I create new paradigms for business. And these paradigms are, I create them in order to foster business growth and expansion. And the paradigm is centered around intuition, being able to combine, um, instill intuition in your business as a complement to the data and analytics. Um, how do I do that? I teach business owners how to tap into and stay in tune with their with whatever business decisions they need to make. So wherever you are in the business, let's take you, Sabrina, for as an example. And you say to me, Salome, my business is doing great. Why should I hire you? Um, I have everything I need. It's going the way I planned it. Um, I have my strategy for the next 5 years. And my answer to you would be, but is that the best that you can do?
Mm.
Is that the best you can do? When you see, when you think of your business for the next 5, 10 years, is that the best you can do? Is your goal to be a business for today, or is it for you to become a legacy company? Do you want your company name to be on the lips of all the customers in your business space? So if that's where you want to be, then you need me to be a part of your organization. I'll teach you, excuse me, how to tap into that intuition. And believe me, if you're able to do that, you're going to be able to get, um, you're going to, excuse me, you're going to be able to recognize all the things you can do as a company that's going to set you apart from everyone else. So whenever I meet with a client and they tell me what they're doing and everything they're doing, I can immediately come up with one thing
Mm.
that's going to make their business better, that's going to have a positive impact on their business. So what I would say is, don't rest. Don't rest on your successes. Don't be
Mm.
a blockbuster.
Yep.
Don't rest on your successes,
Yep.
because it's going to come back to bite you. Because if you do, there are a ton of other people doing what you're doing. So guess what happens when you're resting on your success, thinking, I'm doing great, my business is doing great. Then you've got company A, B, and C to your right, and D, E, and F on your left, who's trying to supplant you. So
Yeah.
never rest on your successes. Always be looking to take your business to the next level. And the reason people don't know how to do that is because they're not tapping into this.
Mm.
If you're tapping into this, you'll have a wider vision of where your company can go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And where can people find you online, social media?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. I'm also on what's the Instagram? My website is on the screen. If you message me on LinkedIn, we can have a one-to-one. And for your audience, I always show up by saying, you guys showed up. So if you're interested in learning more and really make your business the one, the choice of the customer, let's have a chat about it. um,
Okay.
30 minutes for complimentary. We can talk about it and I can give you some tips.
I love it. Very, very cool. Well, this has been absolutely phenomenal. We love to connect people here on this podcast or on this platform. So Salome can be found on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta. Her website is in a clickable link in the description wherever you are watching us at. It's also right below her face area. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, she'll also, that's also her website there. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Yes, I would like to urge one of my, that's why I love your question so much. What do you know that I don't know? And we've talked about that, throughout this talk, is don't be afraid.
Mm.
Don't be afraid of your intuition. I find a lot of times it's about fear. People don't want to kind of stir the pot because they're afraid of what they might learn or see or become aware of. Um, your intuition doesn't tell you what you don't want to know.
Mm.
So, what you want to know, it will tell you what you want to know. So,
Beautiful.
that's what I would say. Don't be afraid. Um, Step out of your comfort zone. Um, cre- Start using new approaches. And this is a new approach and a new paradigm that I think, my feeling, what I know is it's going to be the wave of the future. It's not new because the legacy companies, the most successful companies, are using this strategy. So it's now for small business to make it become more mainstream by adopting it as part of their business strategy.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, this has been a delight.
Yes, absolutely. And we could continue to talk about it for the next hour. I
Yes.
wish we had some questions. I see comments, but I didn't see any questions. So that would have been fun. But yes, I look forward to connecting with your audience and keep the conversation going.
Yes. 100%. Well, this was great. I so appreciate you coming on and taking some of your day to hang out, relax, share some awesomeness with us. To those watching live, thank you so much for being here and hanging out. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay. Drop into the comments so that we can reach out afterwards and say hello, show you some love. Once again, I'm Sabrina Victoria. I am the host here at Her Talk Show. The community that I run is called Her Nation, and we continue to have uplifting conversations just like this one every single day. So make sure you join us. As always, until next time.